How's it going? Welcome to Beach Investing. I'm your host, Andrei. And today we're going to be talking about partnerships and joint venture partnerships. So why do we get into partnerships? In real estate, why do we get into partnerships? I'll tell you why I got into partnerships. About 5-6 years ago, I began investing in real estate. I was very green. I was learning, I was reading books, I was attending workshops, seminars, networks, you name it. I was meeting a lot of people who owned 10, 15, 20, 50 properties, and I was like, wow, I want to get to that stage. So my solution was, I'm feeling very overwhelmed right now. I need someone to guide me. I need someone to hold my hand and take me through at least one property or two and show me the ropes. So I partnered up with someone on my first property, someone who's very experienced. They had 30 plus properties. And I asked them, I was specific. I said, I'm gonna put up all the money. You do all the work, you coach me. You go on title, not me. But at the same time, we'll split the profits 50-50. But I wanna be coached. I wanna be shown the ropes so I can at least do this on my own when I feel ready. So that's why I got into partnerships, because I was green and I was afraid to jump into this game of real estate investing all alone at first. I was afraid, to be honest with you. Now why I was afraid, that's a different story. We'll get into that another time. But that's the reason why I got into joint venture partnerships. Now I've had great joint venture partnerships, but I've also had some not so good ones. The great ones were, you may call them luck, because back then the reason why I was joint venturing was just to accumulate more properties, just for the sake of getting more properties. It wasn't really because I had a real authentic goal that I wanted to achieve. It was back then, it was kind of like, yeah, let's just get more properties, because I kept comparing myself to the people that who owned 50 properties and higher, and I was like, geez, man, how am I ever going to reach that? So it wasn't for the real reasons that I should have been buying properties for, to be honest with you. But you get caught up in that whole hype. You're like, oh my God, I want to get in there. I want to get higher. So my not so good partnership experiences were, we all have expectations, and sometimes those expectations are not met. Promises are made and they're never delivered. So for example, one of the partnerships I got into, I was given a proposal, and the proposal showed me that I would make about $100 to $200 of monthly cash flow in my personal pocket, and the appreciation was estimated to be about 5 to 6% per year, and that I would get quarterly updates from financial statements, and then we would have budget meetings and you name it. There was a whole bunch of promises that were made, but those are the big ones. And, oh, by the way, and in 5 years, I would be able to double my money. Year 1 goes by, I got one update, not quarterly, just one update, and I literally had to pull teeth to get that update. Year 2, I think I just barely met my deadline for my taxes because they didn't even send me any updates. Year 3, I didn't even hear from them. Year 4, I lost my money. There's a joint venture partnership that just went bad. Another one, oh, by the way, no, I didn't get $100 to $200 of cash flow. I didn't even get my money back. Again, I didn't see any money. That's an extreme example, but that's an example of a very inexperienced green person would do, just jumping into a joint venture partnership without really, I did my due diligence, or at least I thought I did, but again, I went into it for the wrong reasons. There's ways I could have protected myself. Some ways would have been to go on title. To being on title, you have that security. Getting a good lawyer to back you up. And to sometimes listen to that lawyer, even though sometimes that lawyer may have disagreed with a few things that I was going to do with that partnership. I probably didn't listen to that lawyer where I should have. Getting a good team behind you. Establishing good relationships with people that can offer their suggestions based on their experiences. being green is definitely a challenge. So you out there who are green, you're not alone, because I was there and I've learned the hard way. But the good thing is that maybe you don't have to, by maybe listening to my experiences and others around you. Now, after I've had these bad experiences, I said to myself I would never get into a partnership again. And long and behold, this year I actually got into another partnership. But 5 and 6 years later, I've learned honestly a lot about partnerships, about what I really want. And in essence, I was indirectly looking for properties, but then people came into my life who had the skills and abilities that I didn't. So that's a partnership that actually can work. For example, if I don't know how to do renovations, finding a partner that is very handy could actually be very complementary to me. So me being a realtor and me having the great knowledge that I have in the Toronto beaches could be one skill set. Partnering with another person who has great skills in renovating and very handy can be a great thing to get involved with. If I didn't have money and I found someone who had money, then maybe that's a good complement. But again, that's just matching yourself with people who could complement your skills. But there's a lot more to that. You have to do your due diligence in these people. Trusting people just because they're known, or trusting them because they're reputable, or they've won awards, or they've been put on stage in front of hundreds of people, and they've claimed to have been successful over the last 10 years. But when things go wrong, it's like a snowball effect. Things go wrong, even the highest of people can go down, crashing down. So just be careful when you start looking for partnerships. Make sure you do your homework, and that you're not doing it for green reasons. Green as in being you're very novice and you're just getting into it just for the sake of buying property. Okay? I understand we want guidance and sometimes some little coaching and mentoring and someone to hold our hand through the process. But in the end, it's your responsibility. You're accountable for your actions. So I'd rather suggest you focus on establishing a team of experts surrounding you first before you jump into a partnership. The other thing, I guess, that I'd like to mention to you is that not everyone is made out for partnerships. So if you want to get into a partnership to be coached, to be mentored, sure, that could be a reason. But again, that might not be the end-all reason. That might not be your only reason. There's other ways of getting money, finding money, or finding a renovation expert without going into a joint venture partnership. So you can borrow money from private lenders. You can find someone to qualify for you if you can't qualify for that property, and giving them a percentage. There's a number of reasons. Like there's an RRSP loan that you can get versus finding someone that has money that they can joint venture with you. If you are green, well, you know what? Maybe shadowing someone versus actually getting into a partnership is the best way to go about it. Surround yourself with other like-minded individuals who have the expertise and who are willing to share with you their knowledge and their experience. That to me is what I find right now, worthwhile versus just jumping into a partnership. Again, that's my intake on partnerships and joint ventures. Planning the divorce before getting married is another a great recommendation I have. Even though you get a joint venture agreement or a contract, in the end, my personal opinion is it's still just a piece of paper. Yes, it's a legal binding contract, but in the end, if you got to fight someone or you fight your partner to get out of the joint venture agreement, or to mediate a disagreement between you two, my goodness, hey, maybe it'll be simple for you guys, but sometimes it'll be so challenging and so stressful that it can literally make your life a living hell. It'll stress you out. Is it worth it? Sometimes it is. But you got to determine when to cross that line. When is it really worth to jump into a partnership? And when is it really worth to sit there and take the chance and do it on your own? Yes, we all have fear in jumping in the game, a big game for that matter, alone. But ask for help. And if you ask, some people will provide you with that help, for good intentions as well. Thanks for listening.